Hi everyone and welcome to another Heroes of the Grid video. Today I'm going to be finishing my Arsenal card coverage by talking about the team power-up cards. Just jumping right in, I'm going to start with the Sword of Light. It's an R cost team power-up, and when I say R, that just means its cost is equal to the number of rangers in the game. So if you're playing with 5 rangers, it's going to cost 5. If you're only playing with 4 rangers, its cost is 4. 3 rangers, 3, etc., etc. It's a R cost team power up. Its ability says, until the end of this battle, each other ranger is considered to have your character ability in addition to their own. If you give this to the right ranger, then you can really deal some damage. Let's say you use the Sword of Light on Tyzon, his character ability. Now every ranger, once per battle, has the ability to convert all critical hit results to blanks or blank results to critical hits. I think Sword of Light's very good. You just have to know which ranger to give it to. Not to say that any ranger's ability isn't good. They all have their uses, but I think some have better general uses that every ranger could take advantage of more so. As I mentioned, Mercurial Force from Tyzon, or let's say even just Jason's leadership, being able to reroll once per battle has saved my bacon a lot. It's basically having a discipline for every ranger for the entire battle. Well, once per battle, each ranger can use it once. Sword of Light's a really good card. I've only used it once, but it really helped in the fight that I did use it in. Really fast. The picture is definitely a comic exclusive thing, but the Sword of Light was something they used in the series, in the season itself. The Sword of Light, I believe, is what they used for the power transfer to give Jason, Zack, and Trini's powers to Rocky, Adam, and Aisha. And yeah, really good artwork. I wish they had emphasized its use and the way it was used in the series more than whatever this picture is, but I'm sure it had some kind of significance in whatever comic this was in. Next is Super Dino Mode. It's an R cost team power up. Its ability says during this battle, the first time each ranger performs an attack, add 1 die to that attack. As you can see, the Super Dino Mode, this is from the Dino Thunder Rangers. This was their super mode that they all got, their power up, team power up, I should say. And much like how all the Dino Thunder Rangers, their abilities tend to add 1 die here and there to any attacks that are rolled. This Super Dino mode is just that, but for the entire team, regardless of whether you're Dino Thunder or not. It's really good. Just adding 1 extra die is awesome. Kind of like Tommy's Legendary Mentor, Dino Thunder Black, just given to every ranger. And it has to be the first time that ranger performs an attack. It doesn't have to be an attack card. So if a maneuver or reaction says roll dice for an attack, then Super Dino mode still activates, adding 1 die to that attack. You can't save it for whenever you want. It has to be the first time each ranger performs an attack. And the picture, I do like this picture a lot because it does show the entire Dino Thunder team all powered up. But moving on, next is SWAT Armor. It's an R cost team power up. Its ability says during this battle, the first time each ranger spends energy to play a card or use a character ability, they may first deal 1 damage to an enemy card of their choice. As I mentioned during my SPD coverage when I was fighting Rancic, I used this card to take out one of Rancic's enemy cards that had 5 health. Because all 5 of the SPD Rangers, all their character abilities, all the core ones at least, their character abilities required them to spend 1 energy, at least. So every time one of them activated their character ability, or even just a combat card that cost any amount of energy, I was able to deal 1 damage for each of them. And by that I mean, the first time each ranger individually used a card that cost energy or an ability. So Jack dealt 1 damage when he activated his ability. Sky activated 1 damage when he played a card that cost energy. Bridge, his character ability, dealt 1 damage, down the line. I was able to take out one of Rancic's cards that was actually giving health to his adjacent enemy cards, and that really helped a lot. Like I said, this really plays into the SPD Rangers more so because all of their character abilities require spending an energy. But since every ranger has at least 1 card in their deck that spends energy, any ranger can make use of this. You deal 1 damage to an enemy of their choice. Since it's not an attack, you can choose a card that's being guarded. You don't have to choose the same target for all the effects. You can split it up as much as you want. But yeah, I really like it. And its picture is naturally the SPD Rangers, their SWAT armor. That's what this card is. I'm sure Sky's in the picture. They just had to cut him out for this card. There wasn't enough room for him. Because it looks like you can see Jack, Sid, Bridge, and Z. I'm sure this guy's at the very end, you just can't see him. Yeah, still a good picture. All right, moving on is Power of the Solarics. It's an R-cost team power-up. Its ability says, until the end of this battle, each time a ranger uses a once per battle ability, they may then return one card from their discard pile to their hand. All the rangers that say once per battle you may such and such, once they do that, they can return one card from the discard pile to their hand. Let's say you're on the second fight of you're fighting the boss a second time because you took out 3 of his enemy cards the first time. You need to take out 3 more, and you happen to get the Power of the Solarics. As you're fighting him, once you use one of your abilities, your once per battle abilities, you can add a card that you played maybe in the first battle, like let's say your power weapon, or maybe something that can reduce damage. You can add it back to your hand, so you can use it again this round. It's very versatile. Maybe the example I gave wasn't the best, but you want to have every advantage that you can, and this card actually helps a lot. And the picture is a comic exclusive thing. The Solar Rangers, they were not in the main series. And I just came to realize actually that the Solar Rangers, most of them were previous Rangers, just given additional powers briefly, from my understanding in the comics. I don't remember who was who. All I know is that Andros was the red one. Oh, I think Tanya was the yellow. Aside from that, I can't remember everybody else so far. Next are the Lights of Orion. It's an R-cost team power-up. Its ability says, until the end of this battle, each time a ranger plays a card, they may draw 1 card to reduce its energy cost by 1. So the beauty of Lights of Orion is that it says each time a ranger plays a card, and it's for the entire battle, so it's not once per ranger for the entire battle. They can use this as many times as they want. They can draw 1 card to reduce the cost of an energy, to reduce the cost of the card they're about to play by 1. Now, this is fantastic because you can use it multiple times. Of course, the drawback is that if you run out of cards because of this effect, then the ranger that ran out of cards is defeated and has to go back to the command center. And if you don't have any energy tokens left in the command center, then the rangers lose the game. So you have to be very careful with this card. I mean, if you're able to get this before you start fighting, maybe you can have each ranger only draw 1 or 2 cards at the start of a battle, so that way they can keep taking advantage of this card. Draw a card to keep reducing the cost of the cards they have. I mean, that's just one strategy. I think that's probably the best strategy to use if you want to constantly be using it, taking advantage of this card. But I mean, it's a good just general reduce the cost by 1. Sometimes you only need to use it 1 time. That's all you need, but it can really help you defeat a monster or a boss. Either way, it's still a really good card, and the Lights of Orion are the team power-up of the Galaxy Rangers. I really like the Lights of Orion because it was a constant multi-episode arc obtaining the Lights of Orion. So I think it was a cool payoff when they finally did get that power. But yeah, moving on. The final card is Metallic Armor. It's an R-cost team power-up. Its ability says, during this battle, the first time each ranger reveals a card for defense, they may treat it as having a shield value of 4. Now every ranger can use this, but they can only use it the first time they reveal a card for defense. Now if you want to make the most of this card, you want to make sure that the top card of your deck is a 1 shield card. So when you flip it over, it becomes a 4 shield. And odds are, especially if it's a foot soldier, the card that you revealed is going to end up going to the bottom of your deck instead of being discarded, because most foot soldiers don't deal any more than 3 damage. Boss cards and monsters usually deal at least 3. So you're probably going to lose at least 1 card even if you do use Metallic Armor. But blocking 4 damage means that's probably the only card you're going to lose. So that the first card you reveal is going to be 4 shield. It goes to the discard pile, and let's say you reveal a 3 shield. Now, odds are you're not taking 7 damage, so that card's going to go to the bottom of your deck. It's a very good card. This actually is the first team power-up, I believe, the Rangers obtained in the series. I mean, unless you count, the powered-up weapons and Mighty Morphin Mutants. But it's not really a team power-up. They just each got more powerful weapons, which I guess you could consider a team power-up. Either way, but Metallic Armor was the first team power-up, I believe. I mean, I could be wrong. Either way, it's not much to look at, honestly. The Metallic Armor is just the shiny version of their regular suits, but I mean, it's still pretty cool. And I do like that they, acknowledge the existence of the Metallic Armor in this game. Actually, I had forgotten about the Metallic Armor until I saw this card, because I hadn't gotten to that part of Mighty Morphin yet when I was rewatching it. That's a nice callback. And yeah, those are all of the Arsenal cards. As you can see, at least for the team power-ups, all of them cost R, which means they all cost whatever the cost of them is, whatever the number of rangers are in the game. So if you're playing a game with, like I said, 5 rangers, they're going to cost 5. If you're playing with 6 rangers, they cost 6, etc., etc. But yeah, all of the arsenal cards, as you can see, they all have their uses. Some are a little more dangerous to use. They have some bigger caveats than others, but they all have their advantages that can help you win a battle and win the entire game. Actually, like I said, they help make the game easier, but not so easy that you feel like you're steamrolling enemies. Sometimes, I mean, you can perform a really good combo like I did with the Dino Charge Battleizer, but I mean, those kinds of opportunities don't line up all the time. So even if you can just make the bare minimum use of an arsenal card, it can still, at the very least, give you a slight edge in battle. And I hope you enjoyed these last few videos and look forward to the next one. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to be covering next, but I look forward to it anyway. In the meantime, head on over to onceranger.com to check out the full card database. Affiliate links, as well as a link to my stand store, will be provided below. And let me know if you have any questions about any of the cards I've covered, and I will do my best to answer them. Thank you.